council meeting to order for Monday, October 23, 2023. Please rise and join me in the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilmember Franco?
I make a motion that we excuse Councilmember Franco this evening.
Second. I have a motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Councilmember Cook?
Here.
Councilmember Fairley?
Here.
Councilmember Osborne? Here. Councilmember Thomas?
Here. Thank you. There are no presentations.
Make a motion that we approve the agenda for this evening.
I'll second. Motion and second. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Make a motion we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion and second. Any questions about the consent agenda? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Reports, Mr. Cook.
Mr. Mayor, I have nothing for you this evening.
Thank you. Mr. Fairley?
No, sir. Nothing.
Ms. Osborne? Mr. Thomas?
Nothing new this week.
On the public works side, probably the biggest thing is we have started the water main replacement on Tacoma Boulevard between 5th and 4th. Rodati construction started today. They started potholing service lines and other utilities in the area there. They had 2 backer trucks out there today just potholing utilities and stuff. So they're got all their pipe and material on site now, so I think they'll be looking to get started fairly soon. So, see, I did get one quote on the lift station to replace the controls. It was $4,750. I'm still waiting for one more quote, so it's not a bad price to get those for that done. I think that's all I have for now, unless you got questions for me.
Sure.
Good afternoon, Council Mayor. First off, I want to start off by one of the members of the A-team had a 6-pound, 2-ounce boy this Saturday, Officer Fan, healthy. Both mom and young son are healthy. He's going to be out till November 15th. I also want to compliment the rest of the A-team as they stepped up and covered the rest of the shifts, and I didn't have to make anybody mandatory anybody. They just stepped up before I even had a chance to address the issue, and they took care of themselves. So it's a real testament to the team over there, and I just want to acknowledge that. Then this last week we had training. Brought in somebody to work on hard skills. Hard skills are like building searches, arrest techniques, and tactics, and we worked on a team concept as well as individual concept. As you guys very well know, there's a few short hours during the day or during the week that we're by ourselves, so it's always important to get those hard skills and practice them. Hiring process, we're in the process of having, we have Officer AJ Riojas comes to us from Hawaii. He started field training. I'm happy to report week 2 went very well, or is going very well. He's about done, and then he'll be on to week 3. We will have him in here at the next council meeting for a swearing-in ceremony. As I reported in the workshop, you got the drone footage of the ditch. Excuse me, talk about a call. Perfect time. If there's any requested areas of the city that you would like us to fly that are public areas, please shoot an email to Ms. Jessica. I'll have the 2 drone pilots get that footage, and it's our goal to get all the drone footage up on the website so it's access to the whole town. That's it. I'll stand for any questions.
Alright, so this Friday is Trunk or Treat at Outback. The Community Center Advisory Board has their second meeting on November 1st, so next week. And then Gary's been planning the tree lighting event, which is December 9th. So calendars, that's all I really have this week.
December 9th, you said?
December 9th, yep.
Do you know what time?
It's generally 5 o'clock, 5 to 7 or 8.
Well, as I promised over Facebook, which I try not to look at too much, I do have a comment for you, Christie, though. When you're making comments about people, who's watching and who's not. At my house, my family all lives on one block, and they all assemble and watch the meetings at my house. But thank you for your comment, I appreciate it. In response to the comments made at the 2 previous council meetings about the new 4-way stop, the city does have authority to put stop signs where they see is warranted. Under Algona Municipal Code 10.01, the city of Algona adopted the model traffic code as described in the Washington Administration Code 308.330. Unlike other local measures involving speed limits, parking requirements, closing streets, designated arterials, etc., there is no requirement for the engineer to perform an engineering and traffic investigation before the city approves the installation of a stop sign. Again, this can be found in WAC 308-330. Taking into account the traffic violation data on Algona Boulevard, the line of sight issues at the intersection, and the increase in traffic due to the work being done on the West Valley Highway for the new transfer station, the city decided to deem Algona Boulevard a dangerous street under AMC 10.20.010. The word warranted has been tossed around frequently, and yes, I determined that 4-way stop is absolutely warranted. We've been considering the 4-way stop for years. The line of sight issue was discussed at the council and previous mayor ever since the new development went in on 8th. Community members who live in the neighborhood brought this issue to the council during previous council meetings, and a robust conversation was had. The major line of sight issues have created a very unsafe environment for those residents pulling out on Algona Boulevard. Along those line of sight issues, development on 8th has also created tremendous parking problems for the residents on both sides of 8th Avenue North, a narrow lane of travel for emergency vehicles to get through, and push cars to park on Algona Boulevard, obstructing the ability to see oncoming vehicles even more. It should be noted that in the presentation by Matthew Palmer at the April 25th, 2022 council meeting, he did state line of sight issues can definitely warrant a 4-way stop. I care about the city, and this decision wasn't taken lightly. Yes, I thought about the potential hazards of 4-way stop, but there was a higher risk of someone pulling out on Algona Boulevard and getting hit than someone running the stop sign. And this is something that should have been ultimately thought about before the development on 8th Avenue was built. I also want to take note of how the positive comments on the Algona Community Facebook page were omitted from the last public comment on the topic. The city has accomplished a lot in the last few years. As anyone can see, our preliminary budget document, the city has been dealing with the general fund shortfall. Mayor Hill and city staff worked diligently to get this to where we are today. In thinking about the future of the city, Mayor Hill started the process for the new transfer station, the Algona Village project, and the wetland reserve. This year we were able to break ground for the transfer station and are on track to break ground in the wetland reserve and Algona Village projects next year. This is all possible by the hard work put in for grants and lobbying at the state level, $1.6 million to be exact. This doesn't include the additional grant funds for various improvement projects throughout the city. Another positive from this year is the clearing of the 167 ditch. The city has seen great results from the work done by Public Works on the ditch, which is partly due to citizens' comments brought to the council. There's still work to be done, but we're working hard to keep things moving forward. I encourage each of you to watch my State of the City address from March 27th, available on the Police Department Facebook page. We may be a small city, but we operate just as big cities do. It takes a lot of time and commitment to keep improving and keeping the citizens as a top priority. It is safe to say that I put in 30 to 40 hours a week to do my duties as mayor. This decision about the four-way stop was not taken lightly. An extraordinary amount of time was put into considering its implementation. The decision's sole purpose was to enhance our community's safety. In closing, there's been a transparent, robust, and thorough discussion about the four-way stop in council meetings and on social media. As your mayor, I'm passionate about this city. I feel these types of conversations are productive and needed in order for the city government to serve needs of all the communities within the city. I'm always available to talk if you still have any questions or concerns. Just remember that my office door is always open, and I encourage each and every one of you to come and see me anytime you feel there is an issue that needs to be addressed by us. Move on to audience participation. The City Council encourages public participation during meetings of the City Council, and the city welcomes your comments. This time is set aside for you to speak to the City Council on any issue. The Council ordinarily takes non-agenda matters under advisement before taking action. You're also invited to comment on action items as they are considered during the meeting. Individual speakers will be limited to 3 minutes each in addressing the City Council. When addressing the City Council, please speak clearly and audibly, state your name and address for the record.
Hello, Matthew Bailey, 239 Milwaukee Boulevard. Hello, City Council. I have a few comments and points for you in regards to the proposal to purchase the properties along Boundary in Algona Boulevard. One, has there been an engineered study been completed that directly indicates that this land is flooding in Algona? What is the estimated cost of a pond on this property? Has the elevations of this property been addressed in the design of this proposed pond? And without confirmation that this will ease flooding, this is a lot of money to spend on a piece of property that may not be able to remedy our flooding problem on the north end of town. Another option that would guarantee flooding mitigation would be to collaborate with Auburn and WashDOT and remove beaver dams outside of City of Algona city limits.
I find that pretty interesting, Matt, since you've worked here for many years, and we've asked that somebody collaborate with the city of Auburn, and consistently we were told, no, they won't collaborate, they won't collaborate, they won't collaborate. And I don't know how you can make that any better. Because you can imagine that you can go to the city of Auburn and all of a sudden they're going to clean up the beaver dam. Or how about working with Department of Fish and Wildlife? It's amazing how that works. Because we were told over and over and over that if we did anything down the ditch, that they would come out and they would shut us down, and magically,
when working in the ditch, you would have to apply for an HPA permit from Fish and Wildlife.
guess what? They came out and said that we were fine, and we have permission to do it. We did not do that illegally. We had meetings with them. Matter of fact, they went down with Russ in the ditch and said, oh, this is great, why don't you guys, we'll probably have to dig it 3 foot deeper. So no, there's no permits. Since 1997, we've had a contract with the DOT that we were constantly told, no, 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 that we can't do this. So DOT came out, excuse me, DOT did not come out. Fish and Wildlife came out, we had a meeting with them, they were completely satisfied with what we did.
What does that have to do with the property?
You're the one that said that.
I never said to purchase.
That's fine. It has nothing to do with the property, I'm just making a point.
Anything else?
Is there anything else for me? guys have any questions for him? Thank you for your comment.
Mayor, when I'll do more staff to speak on it.
Yeah, go ahead.
In regards to the property purchase, we have consulted with Gray and Osborne in a pre-consulting meeting about what we can and can't do with the property. As for the finances, we have the funds in stormwater fund, or ending balance, we do have 1.7 million in that account. Collaborating with other cities, we did do a task force, and Auburn was in with that, and we've done records requests with them, and we've done as much as we can, and we've gotten nowhere with them. Unfortunately, the collaboration just isn't there. Did I address all that?
So in regards to the retention pond, it's been placed on our water management plans, that stormwater management plan, and which is part of our comprehensive plan. Gray and Osborne, as you guys know, is doing a flood mitigation study update, the last one we had since 1997. Also, in our purchase and sale agreement, as this council knows, maybe the audience is not aware, we signed a letter of intent. In that letter of intent, the current property owners gave us permission to do whatever testing that we deem necessary before the final sale, and that sale is contingent on that testing. I do believe that we began reaching out to water technicians. Is that correct?
They were actually on site today doing the testing.
Thank you. So those are all valid points that were already considered and are baked into the purchase process. As everyone knows here, we have to do something about addressing the flooding. Even Gray and Osborne has indicated that a retention or an open air filtration pond would probably benefit us in addressing that flooding if it's equipped properly. And again, back to the lobby work, Michael, our lobbyists, we began reaching out to legislators talking about how we're going after funding. We've addressed some of the funding through the flood district. As you guys know, we've talked about this in council meeting, but just to reiterate, we've gotten flood district credits. We're also in the process of obtaining capital funds from the legislature. As you guys know, we experienced that last. We're going back for other funds to address the flooding on the north end. And in fact, to offset the cost of the purchase of the property, we're in the process of working with, was it Park District or the Water District?
Park District.
The Park District for land acquisition to offset some of the costs.
Is there any other comments? Yes, ma'am.
Christy Rodriguez, Milwaukee Boulevard. I want to thank the mayor for addressing my comments from last council meeting. I think that was a very appropriate thing to do. However, my comments were really directed at these fine individuals sitting directly in front of me. Councilmember Franco, who's not here tonight, addressed me after the council meeting was closed for the evening, and she promised that you guys would be getting together to review everything that I presented and would be giving me some feedback on those comments. So I do look forward to hearing from you guys. As I understand, the council and the mayor are separate entities when it comes to a council meeting. The other thing that I wanted to address were the minutes. I provided the city administrator and city clerk the full speech that I made at the last council meeting, and I would like for the meeting minutes to be revised so that full speech is in there, please.
I'll let council review. That would be a lot of typing on my behalf, so I did summarize the notes.
I can send it to you digitally if that would make your life easier.
I'll leave it up to council.
I think that there are important points from that speech that were missed in the meeting minutes.
I think you misunderstood Brenna. She was more concerned because she called me this week when we talked, and you can sit back there and shake your head all you want. I talked to her.
Mayor, it is not appropriate to be defensive or combative.
I'm just telling you.
You are calling people out, and it is not respectful, and it is not appropriate as someone in a position of power. If you would like to talk, away from this, I'd be happy to do that. But please don't try and be embarrassing or combative.
And sit down and talk.
Thank you. Please don't try and be combative or defensive when people are coming to you in a position where you should be able to answer questions.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Just appreciate it. Can I finish?
You call on me, sir, so yes, you may.
Thank you. So anyway, Greta called me this week. Her big concern was that I did not respond. And she didn't think that I was going to be responding. And I told her that, yes, I was going to be responding. So this is the response.
That's not what Brenda told me.
Okay.
And as I understand, the council and you are separate entities when it comes to council meetings. Am I incorrect in that assessment?
You're absolutely correct.
So, again, my comments were for you guys. I hope that I can get a response because it was the mayor's actions that I'm calling into question. So I would like a third party to review what I submitted to you guys. And hopefully I can get a response. And please fact check anything that I gave to you through the city that came from a public information request.
Is there any other comments this evening? Yes, ma'am.
Karen Corbell, 35 North Avenue North, and my question is to the ditch along 167. I was told it was going to be cleaned. I don't believe it has been cleaned. I'm parallel to that ditch, and it has not been cleaned. This summer they told me it was going to be cleaned.
Want to put the footage back up, sir?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
It was cleaned down to 6th Avenue.
Well, I'm on 4th.
Okay.
So what's the deal?
Before you guys do that, because you can see, you can show that it's been cleaned down to 6th. Russ, you need to explain to her why we didn't go down.
Oh, down the 4th, no. Right there is where it splits, where it starts flowing south from 6th Avenue down to Allingson's basically, and from 6th Avenue to 11th, all that flows north.
Now
So-
say that again.
Yeah, the water flow changes there, and it flows into two different water sources. So from 6th Avenue to 11th, or to Boundary, all that water flows north. From 5th Avenue basically down to 1st and past flows south. Unfortunately, we ran out of time because we missed that fish window, but we had to stop until next spring. So that's why we didn't get a chance to finish going south.
Well, you haven't cleaned up for many years.
I understand that. That's one of our goals.
My issue is I have a basement,
Mm-hmm.
and when that ditch isn't cleaned out,
Right.
it's more likely my basement's gonna flood.
You're on 4th.
Right.
We can take a look at it and see what we can do. But
So, I mean, they told me this summer that they was going to do it.
we ran out of time. Like I said, we missed that fish window where we're not allowed to clean out a ditch with wild fish and wildlife.
Yeah, I mean, I understand.
Our goal is come this spring, summer, is to continue on with the 167 ditch going south, all the way down.
Okay. And one other thing, that stop sign, the newsletter says temporarily, maybe. Tonight you're telling me it's not going to be temporary.
I never said it wasn't going to be temporary.
In the newsletter, it does say that.
I know that, and I said, I never said it wasn't going to be temporary. All I talked about was the reasoning why we put the stop sign there.
Well, why don't we put on 4th Avenue also? Because we have all those people in our new houses that's been 10 years, but people park along the Algona Boulevard, and I can't see out when I turn left.
That's actually been suggested, ma'am, and we have to go through the same process with our engineers that we went through with 8th Avenue North, but that's been brought up and we started that process.
I mean, the stop sign to me is a waste of money.
Thank you. Any other comment? Yes, sir.
Hello, my name is David Wright. I'm with the King County Library System, representing the Algona Pacific Library over on 5 Allison Road. Just want to tell you, the mayor and members of the council, about what's happening with your library currently. So starting this month, the King County Library System is launching a year-long celebration for our freedom to read, watch, and listen. The library provides every person with access to ideas and information that aligns with their values, and doing so supports their First Amendment rights to information. What the library defends is not an individual book or movie, but an individual's right to read, view, and hear. For the next 12 months, we'll be celebrating with monthly online author talks, reading challenges, displays, and more. Now, in alignment with the celebration, this marks the 70th anniversary of the American Library Association's Freedom to Read statement, which affirms the fundamental principle that the freedom to read is essential to our democracy and must be defended. You can view the Freedom to Read statement and pledge your support by visiting unitedagainstbookbans.org or by visiting us at kcls.org/intellectual freedom. I've also brought with us our children's librarian, Roberta, to tell us a little bit about the programs and events that are happening at the library.
Hi, my name is Roberta Miranda. I'm the children's librarian at the Algona Pacific Library. I also grew up in the Pacific. I went to Alpine Elementary, so I'm very excited to be back working in the community that I grew up in. We are very passionate about the community that we serve over at the Algona Pacific Library, and I'm excited to be able to come here to the Algona Community Center once a month and work with Gary Klein, and we do an outreach story time once a month, and then I also offer preschool story times within our library branch, and then also over in the city of Pacific. And then summer months are super busy. Some of you may have seen me in and around town. I was at Algona Days. I chatted with some of you. I also do work at the free meal sites where we give books to children that are coming to the free meal sites. That's provided by our King County Library System Foundation. And we're super busy and gearing up and just excited to be part of the community and continuing all the work. We also have lots of online programs, and yeah.
Nice. Any other comments? Move on to discussion. Discussion item A is resolution 1266-23. It's Get Active, Stay Active King County Grant Agreement.
Alright, so the city has been granted $5,000 to implement healthy living programs. So we are working with the Community Center Advisory Board to figure out what programs we want to provide. As long as it's along the healthy living line, it could be, cooking classes, scholarships for the Skyhawk Sports Camp, the Zumba class, what have you. So this is the agreement for those grant funds. Center Advisory Board. Oh, yeah, you're fine. This is still the first review, so if something comes up, feel free to email me or bring it up for next meeting.
Discussion on B is a purchase and sale agreement for the property located at the corner of Algona Boulevard and Browning Boulevard.
All right, so this is the second review. I believe there's a map of the properties in here. All right, so this includes all the properties on the east and west side of Algona Boulevard, at the intersection of Boundary and Algona Boulevard. We settled on the price of $915,000 for all the parcels. Like I said earlier, we are going to use the fund balance in the storm fund for the primary reason of flood mitigation. Zach was the one that prepared this document. The seller looked through it already. He said it looks good, and now it's just review of the council. This is the second look at it.
These parcels will be multi-use as well, right?
Yes, so the 915 actually covers the west properties, but they threw in the two on the east. And so eventually we'd like to see those be part of the open space. And if the council thinks it's something different, we'd like to see, there's opportunity there.
No new business, no old business, ordinances and resolutions. Resolution 1261-23, the actual systems design, final design, scope of work for the wetland reserve.
All right, this is the third review. Nothing's changed on it. If you have any questions, just let me know.
This is under ordinances.
Correct.
Look at the motion.
I make a motion to approve resolution 1261-23.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Pass. Item B is resolution 1263-23, King County RE Plus grant agreement.
I make a motion to approve resolution 1263-23. I second.
A motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item C is resolution 1264-23, King County External Support Grant Agreement for the Sound Garden.
And real quick, I do just want to clarify, there was a question after the last meeting about some equipment on the project budget. I looked more into it, and those are actually just examples on there. So if you look down further under contracted services, there's the equipment for the sound garden.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was confusing.
Yeah, it was.
I make a motion to approve resolution 1264-23.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve resolution 1264-23. Any questions? All in favor say aye. This one is resolution 1265-23. Public Works property surplus.
And council, you all got the list earlier.
Make a motion to pass resolution 1265-23.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Last one is ordinance number 1226-23, right-of-way vacation for the Algona Village projects.
Alright, so from the last meeting, we talked about the city commissioning our own appraisal. I did look into a handful of companies to go do an appraisal. It sounds like it's a very limited field for right-of-ways. So nobody I called had the capacity to take that on. I did, and I had a good conversation with Mr. Fairley looking at fair market values, and I looked at a couple other places to see if it is about fair market value. And so it is staff's recommendation to move forward with the applicant's appraisal at the 772. Make sure I'm telling you right. The 72,200. The ordinance in front of you is at that appraisal amount. So other than that, any questions? You wanna, yeah, do what you will with this.
Councilmember Farley, would you explain the kind of comparison you made with some similar type properties?
Well, I just, I got on Zillow and just looked for vacant property in the city of Algona, and they're offering, it's like $10.50 a square foot. The vacant property was running between $7.31 a foot to like $7.60 a foot, so it's a couple dollars a foot more. I'm just thinking that, you know, if it costs us $1,000 for appraisal, we just lost the money that we would have got for the additional, so I'm willing to go with their appraisal. Is where I'm at. That was the research I did on that this week, or last week actually. That's this week just started.
I think that makes sense to me.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 1226-2.
I'll second.
A motion and a second to approve ordinance number 1226-23. Any question? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
With the workshop conversation.
I would like to suggest Tara in her last visit with us, she talked about the sewer and storm utility tax. So I'd like to bring that to council, just see where you guys are at with it. So yeah, any thoughts?
Can you say that again? I couldn't hear you.
The sewer and storm tax that Tara talked about. I know she brought it to finance committee and talked about it at the last budget presentation. So if you're open to it, I'd like to just give you some numbers.
Yeah, I think that would be good. Anybody else?
I'm in favor of it.
Anything else you guys want to talk about, Ed?
Will you have other drone footage by then that we could put on here?
Yeah, we can.
Sound good?
I'll pay us or overtime to get it done during the day. We'll just look at the weather. Yep, absolutely.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any comments for the good of the order?
Yeah, I would welcome you to come back to that workshop. That drone footage will show that ditch. Hopefully it'll show the ditch from 4th, 5th, south, so.
Like I said, it's our intent, once the new website comes up, we're definitely putting all the drone footage that we've been taking, time lapse it over the years onto the website so everybody can see it.
The date when we're gonna have that new website.
Most likely January. Yeah, it could range from 1st of January to the end of January.
Thank everybody for attending. I'm going to adjourn the meeting.